Hey gang, we're going to be talking about the tall sit-up. So you'll need an ab mat, and I'll just show you what it looks like first. Gotcha. So, what is a tall sit-up and why do we do it? Tall sit-up, the basic thing is we're going to be using, this is a test that comes from Kelly Starrett, and basically you're going to put one hand right above right over your belly button, the other hand right above it, a little bit of gap, and you'll notice my hand, there's a little bit of gap in between my fingers. What we're doing here is we're seeing what is the relationship from my pelvis to my rib cage. And so if I were to flex like this, get into this rounded position, then my fingers, you'll notice now there's no more space. So this gives me, as the athlete, really good feedback on what my body's doing from a third person perspective. So if my crunch, no good. But if I move and I'm keeping that distance, that wiggle room in between my fingers, that's telling me I'm keeping a nice tall spine, thus the tall sit-up. So what we want to do is we're going to set up, you can use the ab mat, you don't have to. We're going to put one hand in the belly, one hand in the rib cage, and as we sit up, we want to work on staying as tall as we can. We're trying to keep that head right as far away from the pelvis as we can. What we commonly see with the sit-ups, or with crunches especially, is people will do the and all they're trying to do really is they're trying to get their chin as close to their pelvis as they can, curving in a whole lot, and they're not really working their abdominal muscles, the core strength, in the same way that they're really just working their neck, and they're really just hurting their back, hurting their neck as well. So that's why we're talking about this tall sit-up. The tall sit-up, it's gonna suck a lot more. I just want to forewarn you. You're not gonna be able to do as much, and you probably won't even really be able to get as high as you think you should. But really what we care about mostly, rather than what does it look like, or how much is burn, or like, is this, you know what I mean? What we really want to make sure is we have good mechanics. So by doing this, by using this rib cage test, by the hand test, as soon as we notice that we're starting to curl in, that's when we stop, and that's when we call that rep done. So I really like to use an ab mat on this, and of course the same ab mat principles apply. It should be upside down when you look back at it. So it's that good lumbar curve, and from here we're going to sit up and down. Sit up, and now I'm noticing my fingers are getting closer, so I stop. It's gonna suck, it's not gonna be very fun, but it's gonna be good for you. So I hope that you learned something about this, just really making sure that you're trying to keep that tall spine, tall sit up. So we're just trying to do good reps without hurting ourselves in the long run. So I hope you enjoy, do some sit ups, get some good core strength.